Wait, I just checked, Kyle. It's 45 degrees in Atlanta.
Right now, I wasn't complaining. What I was saying was it's going to be 14 tonight and raining.
Those DoorDash people are going to be suffering.
Oh, it's going to be terrible for them.
It's a tip 20%
I'm
kind of week.
I've stopped tipping DoorDash people because I feel like I'm doing my part to like let the economy and businesses adjust. They should be paying a living wage to those people. So we need to stop tipping so that that'll adjust itself. So I'm doing my part. Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
You're
you just stand by your principles.
I'm kidding, but I saw a Reddit video the other day where people didn't tip, and this driver pulls up and she's like, "No tip," and they're like, "Well, it's no fucking tip, really?" And like slings their food across their fucking yard. It's like, God damn.
I mean, this is America. You should leave a tip always.
Why?
Because it's our culture. Like, you got to help them out.
That is not our culture at all. Our culture. Look, I grew up tipping people and seeing people get tipped. My father was always a very generous tipper. Still is. I guess.
Start talking about your dad as past tense.
Like, oh my God, did something tragic happen in the last week?
But like when
he stopped tipping.
He's done. But like if they provide adequate service, that is not a tip. You don't get a tip for like one. It's like Steve Buscemi said it best in that fucking like in what Reservoir Dogs. If you go above and beyond, you get a tip. A tip is a bonus. It is a cherry on top. If it otherwise, include it in the goddamn price.
Leave $1 on the table.
Look, I'll give you my fucking $1 because you're paying for my food, but you're not gonna change my mind about this shit. Tiniest fucking violin and all that shit. I agree with
prompt service. Then you tip them.
Well, now we've moved to a restaurant rather than a DoorDash employee who drove to like fucking Zaxby's or something.
Let me come to the table here and meet you halfway, because I'm 100% in favor of tipping for delivery people, waiters, waitresses, that shit. The whole like if I go to pick up chicken wings and like I drive to the store to pick it up, I will not tip then. I drove there, I'm picking up a thing, there's the tip line on it. But it's like, I'm going to tip $5 for...
What am I tipping you?
What am I tipping?
Operator?
You just like... What? So it's that in that
that's very common
they're
here.
getting greedy.
That's very foreign to me.
So here's what they do. You'll go into like a kebab place. Starbucks is a good example. I don't go there because I make good coffee. But like I go to this pita place, and like it's one of those places where they like shave that big hunk of meat and everything. Ooh. Anyway, they just hand you your food, and then they like flip an iPad around. And it's like, you want to tip 20%, 30%, or 45%. And I'm like, I'm not tipping you any fucking thing, dude. Like, What did you just do? You didn't even make the goddamn food. He's the one that like carved it off the thing. That dude put it in the box. And this is the guy who told me it was ready. You didn't do shit. Like, fuck you. You're getting nothing.
I've always heard like, have you ever like on Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares or something? A lot of those restaurants just put it into the restaurant or something. Like, it doesn't go to one guy. Is that a thing?
That's illegal.
That happens, but it's considered like stealing in bad form.
It's against the law. Yeah. What you can't take waitresses' tips, and that usually becomes a fiasco when they do that shit.
Yeah,
and
I think they got in trouble for
it. May vary from state to state, but the thing about waitresses is they don't get paid real minimum wage for some reason. Usually, they're getting like $2 an hour or like $3 an hour or maybe even less. And because they're expected to make so much on tips. And if I go to a diner, I'm thinking of a diner specifically where like she's coming back and forth with coffee because, man, you're getting tipped well. Like you could easily get a $15, $20 tip on scrambled eggs and bacon or something if you've just been kind and like, I'm probably there because I'm up too goddamn early.
Keeping your coffee
nice
full.
To me. Yeah, you keep the coffee coming. Like you could easily get a $15 or $20 tip, but I'm not going to tip that goddamn pizza guy who's not even a real pizza guy. All right. Like back in the day, there was a guy who his job.
Are you
was
saying he's not
delivery.
Italian enough? Are you being
racist?
Whoa,
what were you talking about here?
Baloney's not Italian enough.
He's calling us pizza people. That's our word.
I think tipping here feels like I think how it should be. You know, like when I give someone like a good tip, like I don't know what the equivalent would be. Like I always tip the girl that does my nails and the girl that does my eyelashes, and that's met with like, whoa, are you sure you don't have to like for not that much. Like if it costs like $50, I'll do like take 320s. You know, like it's wild.
Nice. So like. I would totally be that fucking goober ass American who went to Europe and like was tipping because I would like I'm so trained at restaurants that is what you do to a server. Like honestly, if a server is absolute dog shit, I'm like, you bitch, fucking 15%. So like really? It has to be. I've not tipped, I think, twice in my life, and one of the times was because they literally did not bring me the food I ordered. They didn't like tell me stuff wasn't available. They like took my order and then came back 20 minutes later and said, we don't actually have that. Like
you've got to adjust that. You've got to adjust that because that's way too much. Look,
if they're decent, at least minimum 20%. If they're decent.
I read something the other day. Someone was pointing out that because every time we see a spider, we fucking stomp it out. We're making spiders become sneakier. So we're forcing spiders to become sneakier and more reclusive. The same thing's true with lazy waitresses. If you tip a dumb, shitty waitress who smells bad or something, she's just gonna go on being a waitress, thinking she can cut it in this world and not adjust her like hygiene and her like I don't know, like her skills as a waitress. Right, you're gonna have stinky waitress.
Darwinism, eugenics, waitress tipping policy. This is good.
I had a waitress that I think
logically it makes sense.
I once had a waitress. I probably told this story before, but it's been so long ago that I can barely even remember it. But I remember we were at an Outback Steakhouse, a fine restaurant, and our waitress had either stepped in shit or shat herself. 100%.
Hopefully the former.
I don't know. It smelled like dog shit, and that was the conversation my girlfriend and I were having. Well, I was like, that smells like dog shit to me. I don't think it's people poop.
That's the best kind of shit you could hope for in that situation.
And my girlfriend was like, but it's so strong. It's like it's coming out of her, not just off of her shoes. And I'm like, maybe she eats dog food. Maybe she eats dog food and she shit herself.
What would you recommend, ma'am? A big bowl of Alpo. This is what I enjoy.
But like on top of that, I remember it was poor service. I've had poor service at an Outback twice where I made a scene.
At Outback Steakhouse, no less.
like maybe I'm white trash, but I used to live really close to an Outback, and I like their steak.
Maybe I'm white trash, but I used to live in a trailer park.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I'm making fun of my Outback Steakhouse trips, but
I'm not with Taylor on that.
Fine steak,
dude. I think Outback and Red Lobster are both the bomb, and they get ripped on for no reason.
I don't know why they get ripped on. They're acceptable.
Red Lobster gets ripped on justifiably. They don't have enough meat in their crabs.
Millionaires and billionaires are out there that every night you're hitting up a different 5-star restaurant and spending $300 a plate.
Red Lobster is not cheap. They charge just as much for the fucking crab, and you break it open, and sometimes it's like, was there a ghost crab living here? Where's the meat?
There is. Got to mine already.
That bread is priceless.
And the bread does.
My dad did that.
The bread does all the heavy lifting.
my dad's food showed up. The waitress came, said, "How's everything look?" He says, "Looks like somebody got to mine already."
Dude, your dad and my grandpa would get along so well because my grandpa is like a Southern Missouri farmer, and like when he goes out to eat, like he will make clear what he thinks, not in a rude way, just in like a matter of fact country fella. And this woman came out at this. We went to a steakhouse a few years ago, and it was an expensive ass steakhouse. And he ordered a meatloaf from this really nice steakhouse we were going to because he just likes it. And she brought it out and gave it to him. He had like a couple bites, and she came out later and was like, "How is everything?" Like picking up all of our finished trays and like seeing his not eating hardly. And he's like, "Shit, I'd rather have a dip of skull than what you just gave me." As he was putting skull in, and I'm like, damn, like I know he's telling the truth because he's not a picky man. He was eating fucking pig feet in the 30s or whatever the fuck. Like
I went
in the 30s. Yeah, in the 20s. He was born in 1906. He's 116.
I went to Outback once, so I had that time where the waitress smelled like poop, and it was also bad service. And I talked to a manager about her. I said, I said, look, I don't want to embarrass her. I lowered my voice. I was like, she smells really bad. And I bet you know that. And maybe you can't do anything about it, but it's repulsive to me. I was like, I'm not going to eat now. I was like, my waitress smells like poo, sir. And like went through that whole thing with him. That I wasn't all that mad about because it seemed like somehow or another they had hired a homeless lady and they didn't know it until it was too late. But then another time I went there and I sat next to the bar and nobody wanted to wait on me. The lady gave me my menu and sent me to the table, like the hostess. And then I saw the waitress because like I could see through the bar into the back area. I could see them like look at us, my lady friend and I, and then like say something to one another and then sort of go their separate ways, but not towards me. And a long time went by, 18, 19 minutes, something like that went by.
A long time. Your soda's
and they
empty.
haven't, I don't have a drink. I haven't spoken to anybody. I'm just sitting there with this goddamn menu. Like, I don't know what they serve at Outback Steakhouse. Oh, is there a new blooming onion? Like, get the fuck out of here. So eventually I'm like piping mad. And I'm talking to her. I'm trying to get her to be like, to slow me down. I'm like, this is bullshit. She's like, this is bullshit. And I'm like, so now she's given me like permission to go off now, right? And I'm just like, so the next time they walk by, I go, because they've been walking past me, like these waitresses, like 3, 4 of them, because that's what it takes to run an Outback, and they have to go past me to get in the kitchen. So she walks past, and I went, "Hey!" She goes, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. You didn't see me? I know you saw me because I saw you talk to that redhead over there, point at us, and say something 20 minutes ago." She's like, "Oh, have you not been served?" I was like, "You know I haven't. I want the manager now." She's like, "But a manager? I want the manager!" And she's like, "Woo!" And she goes and like gets the manager, and I like go through a whole thing. He's like, I was like, she doesn't want to wait on me. She has some kind of personal problem with us. I don't know. And I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, do y'all know each other? Like, is there something I don't understand here? Like I know they don't, but I'm saying, I'm putting on a little performance for the manager. And I'm just like, she doesn't want to help us. I was like, could you please, sir? We're really hungry. We've been here for 20 minutes and this lady doesn't want to help us at all. She won't. And she's like, I will. I was like, no, you don't. And no, you can't anymore. And finally he like assigns us like a new waitress who's like being great. And I tipped her $100 fucking dollars because I hated that woman so fucking much. I hated that woman so fucking much. There's nothing that makes me madder than like
tip.
I don't know, being disrespected for no reason. Like I'm not asking for a lot. Just bring me my Coke. Just talk to me. Like I didn't like being ignored at an Outback Steakhouse, and I was ready to fight over it. If the manager had not come back and said good things, we could have fought it Outback. It could have gone that like white.
It wouldn't be the first fight at Outback.
It wouldn't be. No, it wouldn't. It'd be my first fight at an Outback. I haven't been in a fight in so goddamn long.